Hey everyone, welcome to the Horror Show. I'm Cecil Laird.
I'm Susie Producer.
And I'm Producer Dave.
Here to do a quick review of, well, maybe not quick, we'll see what happens, but we are reviewing Dracula from 1931.
Yeah.
This is the first time I've ever seen it. This is the first of the Universal monster movies that I have actually sat all the way through. We did do a commentary in a separate video, so you should be able to see that. I'll probably release them at about the same time, but we're going to do this review like usual. We'll do our overall thoughts, then the story, acting, effects, sound, all that.
Come on,
so
Maddie,
it should be
wasn't
nice
that
and quick. The movie was only about an hour and 14 minutes, and while I will say, yes, I can appreciate it for what it was, it did not floor me. I've seen so much at this point that Dracula staring with one wide eye and one kind of not wide eye is not unnerving to me. But, you know, again, I appreciate it for its classic value. Yes, I can see a lot of homages, but there's a lot of weird things too, like weird cuts.
It was made in 1931.
I know. I get it. What do you guys want out of me? Do you want me to just blow all of these movies and not have any criticism? My God, it was fucking amazing. Nothing wrong with it whatsoever. I loved it. End of review. Like, what does everyone expect out of this from me? Of course, I've got to look at it from an eye that I have.
What I love is, there was enough bad takes that they had to use a bad focus take.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that was the good take that they got, was the out of focus one. So there were a bunch of great things in this film that I loved, but overall, I think it's one of those films that just, it is what it is. It's one of those classic horror films. They don't show, I think there's one drop of blood in the whole thing. Mm-hmm. It's not scary to our standards, but again, we talk about the audience in 1931, 32. This was very frightening. This was different than anything they'd ever seen before. And again, this is early sound. So while we had difficulty with the silent parts, they were pretty used to it. So. Yeah. I love this film. I think it's great, and I think what I said earlier in the commentary is still valid, that the Gary Oldman, Bram Stoker's Dracula is basically this film modernized. It's a better version of this film.
Yeah, and I want to rewatch that now, having watched this, because I do remember liking a lot of that, and I like the effects. Anthony Hopkins playing that role is great. Playing Van Helsing.
Oh yeah, and Anthony Hopkins.
And then obviously we had Keanu Reeves playing Jonathan Harker. But I'm interested in it. It was good. I liked Van Helsing a lot. I liked his, but he played the entire movie with his his head cocked to his left side
or away from camera.
Unless he was bowing at someone. But the movie, okay, so it's the story of Dracula. We get introduced to him via
it's the story of
Renfield.
Dracula's death, really.
Well, yeah.
How Dracula comes to his demise.
The first person goes to the castle, it's Renfield, and quickly he's turned into the Renfield that we know from the lore, and then Dracula crosses the ocean to
Renfield, I think, is an attorney.
America.
Or a land assayer or something like that, and he's going to have him sign papers for Carfax Alley.
Right. So he buys this area of America and England rather. Sorry. And they go there via boat, and he introduces himself to his neighbor, as it were, at the opera, and.
His neighbor's a mental asylum, which is important from the book because that's kind of his plan, where he's going to feed.
That would have been nice to get that a little bit clearer.
Yeah.
But yeah, at the time he meets Mina and Lucy and Jonathan Harker, and then it becomes about Dracula starting to pick people off, and not Harker, but Van Helsing, who is working in the asylum, noticing and trying to stop him from that point on. So the story was fine. It moved. The pacing is obviously way different than nowadays because, like you said, they just go from thing to thing to thing to thing. And often you see him leaning in to a girl, and then it fades to black, and then it fades to an autopsy, which apparently it's that girl, and they, so there's a lot of jarring moments like that. Like, I have to get used to that. This is, again, the first one of these that I've watched, so I'm not used to it. So as we go along, I'll be more expecting it and things like that. But But yeah, this it's just a little bit weird for me. It felt super slow. It was super slow.
He was very slow.
Yeah, and without a soundtrack, as it were, it only is emphasized even more. So it was okay. I do see the classicness of it, but Lugosi was even like, there was one point where he was talking very matter-of-factly with Renfield about the lease and everything, and then he goes back to the "have a good night, Renfield." Like, so it was a little uneven at parts too, but obviously Lugosi is a classical genius, but yeah, I mean, all he did was this. Like, he just stared at people, and you know, I think it'd be fun to add, like, go in and add the old Super Friends Aquaman. Whoa, 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 whoa. Every time he did that, that'd be a really fun parody to do. But yeah, I mean, overall, I get it.
It's a lot better than Nosferatu, the original.
Is it really? Okay.
Yeah,
No,
the original Nosferatu has like moments that are okay and good, but for the most part, it's almost unwatchable. In my opinion.
I love it.
Wow, really? Okay. Well, we might have to do that too.
I'm such a huge fan. I love, obviously, like, I love history, I love antiques, I love black and white films, I love all of this stuff. So, in horror, like, I just love it. So I'm used to it, like you said, the cutting away, the fading out. Like, I'm so used to seeing it in the films, and I thought it was great. Again, like, I'm able to put my mindset to how it would be seen then.
Yeah.
You know, and I can appreciate it, I guess, a bit more because of that. I mean, I remember hearing my grandmother telling me stories about the first time, you know, she saw The Wizard of Oz in theaters, and, you know, how it was like 5 cents or like a penny or something, you know, see the movies, and how extravagant it was, and how much it, like, just blew her mind, like, seeing all of these amazing things that they've never seen before.
I think this actually came out around the same time as Wizard of Oz was coming out.
So I guess I can appreciate it a bit more, but I love them. I'll always be, you know, yes, there's no sound. No, it's not like fucking Cabin in the Woods, but still, it's what.
Well, there's no sparkly vampires.
Yeah, you know, that's good.
Nice.
But, you know, still, it's what it was the beginning, and so I can really appreciate that. So
I did like a lot of the acting.
Yeah.
I liked Renfield a lot.
Yeah.
I did like Lugosi. I did like Van Helsing a lot. Yeah, Renfield he was having the most fun, I think.
That laugh.
I thought
Mina
did a good job too when she kind of went bad. I thought she did a good job.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I liked all the acting. I thought that was all definitely a high point. The sound design is just so sparse that it's really interesting, and I would love to see a cut where someone really goes in and adds all of what you would hear nowadays and things like that. I think it could
or
really
the insert
enhance
shots
it,
of the kills even.
People would probably are going to string me up just for saying that. No, you can't do that with a classic. That's exactly, you're Lucasing a classic.
No, you know how much I love classics and like classic film, like black and white films, but I think that it's just opening a new world to it.
I think so. I think that's a good way to look at it.
Because you'd be seeing the movie differently, because then you have all the sound and there's
more layers.
More layers. Perfect. There's more layers to it. And
I will say I'm excited to do my Cecil reboots version of it, because there's a lot I saw that I think could translate.
Well, you need to watch Bram Stoker's Dracula again before you do your reboot.
Yeah, that's true, because
they nailed it. No, I'm telling you, in that version, they nailed this version.
Yeah, but I have some ideas.
Yeah, okay. I have some ideas.
All right. Yeah, I think that'll cover the review for Dracula here.
I'll say one last thing. You know, this was a different time when they self-censored themselves, so they didn't show the kills, and they don't show the girls in the transparent.
They don't even really show him like baring his teeth at them.
Right. Well, I mean, it was very like we said, there was like the one little bit of blood that we saw in the whole thing, and then we did see a little bit on her collar.
There were a lot of people who vomited during that scene.
Right. But aside from that, I think it is one of the defining horror films of cinema, because it tells one of the older stories that's completely ingrained in everybody knows who Dracula is, and everybody knows the basic stories. There was no garlic. I don't know if you noticed
Wolfsbane,
that.
though.
Wolfsbane.
Which
So
is
it was
usually a
something
werewolf
different.
thing now.
Yeah. And I liked
That's
that.
interesting. I didn't realize that was a vampire.
They had
thing
all the
started.
classic, no mirror. They had he turns into a bat and a wolf, and
Yeah, that was cool to hear too.
so like I said, I think this is the OG Dracula story. It's not a horror film.
I would love to
not a
see
horror
again. Like this is a way. One of the things I would change is the dream that Renfield describes, where Dracula comes with thousands of rats.
Yeah.
That would be really. And if his eyes are red and all the rats' eyes, like, can you imagine shooting that now in a cool sort of moody, where it's all in shadow and all you see, like sort of a Man in Black, Dark Tower sort of thing, where all you see are the eyes, and then just all of the creatures with red eyes around him. He's like, oh, to be yours, Renfield. Like that'd be so dope. So there's a lot of stuff that is ripe for redoing.
All right, buddy, let's do it.
Yeah, let's just do it. Screw it. All right, guys. Well, yeah, I think we'll call. Any final thoughts from you, Susie?
Nope.
All right. Fair
Sorry,
enough.
I need a cigarette, man.
Well, that's going to do it, guys. Thanks very much for watching our review of Dracula 1931. I'm excited to go through the rest of these now. 1 down, 7 to go, and then we'll see if I go through the sequels or not. But maybe we have to. So anyway, thanks for watching. I've been Cecil Laird.
I'm Susie Von Slaughter.
Bruce Dave.
Special thanks to all the patrons that support the channel. We greatly appreciate you guys. Click the link in the description box down below if you want to do that. Also, the link down there. There's a link down there for our TeePublic site where you can get our Coexist shirt if you do want it. But thanks very much for joining, and remember, stay scared.